Have you ever thought about getting your wisdom teeth removed at an older age than you would expect? Because that is me right now. I have officially gotten my wisdom teeth pulled out, at least 3 out of the 4, because the 4th one doesn't need to be pulled out, but we survived, we're doing okay. It has been 1 week since the recovery time, or 1 week since it's been removed, so yeah, I am good enough to, I think, talk at least a little bit. Anyways, hello everybody, this is that Manga Dude, and welcome to another FVI, the first of the year, because I didn't do one for January. January was a very busy month in terms of videos, and I wanted to get all those out. So this is going to be an action-packed, jam-packed, tons of manga to be told. In this one, there's going to be 5 series I'm going to be talking about. Yes, sirree, 5, you heard that right. From January and February, so really excited to get into these. A lot of these are very new. Well, duh, they're very new. The way that the FEI works is that I take a first volume, or I take a one-shot, and I give a more complete review than I typically do on a reading log. So I will be talking about the stories, the characters, and the art, and it's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get into it right now. Alrighty, so our first series, our first volume, originally released in June of 2022 in Weekly Shonen Jump, and that is going to be Ruri Dragon from Masaoki Shindo. Okay, let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have translation from Caleb Cook, Shonen Jump touch-up art and lettering from Sarah Lindsley and Kyla Aiko. Graphic novel touch-up art and lettering by Kyla Aiko. Design from Julian J.R. Robinson. Shonen Jump series editor Jennifer Sherman. And graphic novel editor Jack Carrillo Concordia. So, yeah, let's talk about this cover and spine. Yeah, it kind of suffers from the typical white background with the character on it. I've said this in a lot of videos, but this is not my favorite style in terms of covers, just because I feel like you could do so much more. I mean, there's so many series that have really great covers and spines, and yeah, this one just falls into the typical classic white background character. So this one's fine. I'm not completely blown away by it, but I do like how Ruri Dragon is written. It's a really cool title with the color and everything. Alright, let's talk about the characters. I'm only going to be talking about one because, yeah, it's the main character. Her name is Ruri. She is the lead character of the series, like I mentioned. A quiet girl who likes playing video games. Her horns have attracted the attention of everyone in the class, and she initially struggles with this. But, as the volume continues along, her character grows into a more friendly and understanding person. And, you know, it's really nice to see this character growth, because even if she was forced into this new situation, I don't know. I like her character quite a bit. I think she's kind of fun. She's pretty funny, and very relatable for a high school girl who's just trying to figure stuff out. Yeah, I like her character. It's she's gonna be fun to hopefully see how she grows and continues to grow throughout the series. Now, going into the story, so we have Ruri, who is just a normal girl, but she woke up with horns for some reason. She comes to find out that she's half dragon, which her mother tells her, and a bunch of other things start happening around her as she comes to learn more about herself, more about her family, and yeah, people are suddenly have become very, very interested in her, so now she's also trying to open up to all these people. So yeah, it's like a slice of life, coming of age kind of story with some like mystery, like some little mysteries here and there. I don't know how much they're going to play into the story itself per se, but yeah, not necessarily the most interesting premise, but I do like I said, I do like the character writing. I think there's some stuff to enjoy here. Am I completely blown away by the story? No, not really. But I think where this series shines the most is the art. I think the art is very nice. You have some simplified and fun character designs, and overall, some pretty decent backgrounds. I actually really enjoyed some of the paneling as well. So I think overall, this is a nice little package. Pretty decent series. I don't know if I'm gonna like it as much as everyone hyped it up to be. We'll see, I guess, as we continue throughout the year and we get more volumes. But yeah, first volume was pretty okay, and I would suggest if you like shonen stuff, give it a shot. Okay, so this series originally released in Shogakukan's monthly Big Comic Spirits all the way back in June 27th, 2015, and that's going to be Keigo Shinzo's Tokyo Alien Brothers. Just to give a quick thing about this, Keigo Shinzo is the mangaka behind Hida Yasumi, which is one of my favorite currently releasing series. So I just wanted to get that out there, pointed out. And then let's talk about who worked on this. We have translation from Casey Lowe, touch of art and lettering from Elena Diaz, design from Jimmy Pressler, and editor is Holly Fisher. Now let's talk about this cover, spine and back cover. I do really like this front cover. It's really nice. I like the colors. I like the characters. I like the font used for the title. I think it looks really cool and kind of incorporates that kind of sci-fi elements that are within the series. But yes, once again, the spine and the back cover do suffer from the white background with the character. So unfortunate, but I do actually like the spine here because it has the little character here, which is kind of fun. And yeah, let's get into it. So we have two characters I'm going to be talking about. We have Fuyunosuke Tanaka. He is one of the male leads of the series. Very laid back and really enjoying Tokyo. He's a ladies' man who likes to have fun with no inhibitions. He's very smart, but he really hates working. And he makes him to the news. It makes him a nuisance for the alien race that he comes from. So overall, I like his character. I think he's really funny, and he's just kind of all over the place, and I think that's great. He's just kind of exploring Tokyo, kind of learning about the Japanese people, but it's kind of incorporating himself a little bit too much in a way. But overall, I do like his character. I think he's really fun. Coming up next, we have Natsutaro Tanaka, who is his brother. The complete opposite, his antithesis in every sense of the word. He is a no-nonsense in comparison to his brother, but he is struggling a lot more than his brother because he feels like he needs to complete the mission, needs to do the mission. He's not really acclimating to society, so he kind of stands out, which is kind of the whole point of what they're not supposed to do. They're kind of supposed to lay low and kind of learn all about the world just so they can know if the Earth is inhabitable. Which, going into the story, like I said, we follow our two brothers who are aliens, and they have been sent to Earth in order to find out if this Earth is cohabitable with their alien race. Because they are like complete opposites, they're kind of like learning together in a way. Fuyunosuke kind of understands Tokyo more, while Natsutaro is very much struggling and having a harder time. But I like their dynamic. I like the character writing. I think there's a lot of great comedic moments throughout the story already. And yeah, I think the story is just a lot of fun. Although not necessarily the most creative or like because I've seen stories like this where like you have like characters going out going into a different world where they're completely different. So very classic like story trope, especially for manga, but I think it's done in a fun way, and really just enjoying everything about this. But coming down to the art, I've talked about Keigo Shinzo's art at length in a variety of different videos, especially for Hida Yasumi, and it's no different for Tokyo Alien Brothers. I love the simplified art style. I love the character designs. The paneling's great. There's some really great facial expressions just across the board. And yeah, there's also just some really gross moments as well. I think that's something I forgot to mention during the story. But if you want to talk about unhinged comedy sometimes, there is some crazy stuff that happens throughout this volume, especially within the first 20 pages. Please note that this is more of an adult series in comparison to Hida Yasumi, so please, if your child, maybe hold off just a little bit until you get older, because yeah, this has got a lot of weird stuff in it. But overall, it was a fun time. I actually really enjoyed this first volume, and definitely excited to continue reading it and see like what the series, or what Keigo Shinzo did before releasing Hida Yasumi. Alright, coming into one of my most hyped manga releases of 2025. I mentioned this in that video. This was originally released in Lead Publishing's Torchweb, which is an online manga reading app, releasing in April of 2019. That is going to be Arare Matsumushi's Takahashi from the Bike Shop. So, let's talk about quickly who worked on this. We have translation from Giuseppe Di Martino. We have lettering from Rachel Gancio. Editors are Stephen Shin and Carl Lai. And design is from Jane Sohn. And once again, we have ourselves the white background with the characters. It seems to be a very common trend with the releases of the past couple months. But yeah, I do like the illustrations here, and I actually really like how they use kind of like that more chalky style for the font for the title. So yeah, once again, it's got the white background, so not much to say there. Coming into our characters, we have two of them. We have Tomoko Hano. She is the female lead of the series. She's very much a yes girl, a yes woman, never saying no and always doing what she's told. And she really struggles with this throughout the first volume, but I kind of like how her character is already growing within the first volume. We see like a lot of like her kind of standing up for herself, her actually saying what she wants to say instead of just thinking it. And yeah, I think her character is very relatable. I empathize and sympathize with her, and just overall, I like her character quite a bit. Coming up next, we have Ryohei Takahashi, as the name suggests. He is the male lead of the series. He looks like a delinquent with dyed hair and piercings, but he's very much got a really good heart, always says what's on his mind, and is very blunt about things, which can sometimes come to a fault. But overall, I like his character a lot as well. Great chemistry between these two characters, especially how different they are. And yeah, I just think overall these characters are really great. And I think coming in a more realistic setting, it helps a lot that these characters feel a lot more relatable. So overall, the characters are done well. Coming into the story, Tomoko Hano is an office worker who struggles with saying no. She really wants to be able to do what she wants, but can never really say the right thing in order to get her way. After her bike begins to fail on her, a mysterious young man tells her to bring it to his shop. Lo and behold, he owns a bicycle repair shop, and his rough exterior and straightforwardness brings her a sense of calm and collection. Will this person be able to help her with her woes? And yeah, overall, I like the story. Another slice of life, almost like a coming of age and just kind of like a growing story. I don't know how to say it, but really like it. I like how it's based around adults. That's really great, and I just really like how the story is already flowing. I think the flow and the pacing is really strong, and I'm kind of curious as to how these characters are going to continue to grow with each other and individually. So overall, I liked the story as well. And now coming into the art style is really, really nice. I like the shading. The shading's really well done. Really great examples of just like how to show like at night and through the day without making it like super dark or just, I don't know. It's really good at like showing shading. Some pretty nice character designs as well. I think overall this was a really great series. I'm really excited to continue reading this one, and I can't wait to get the next volume. Okay, coming into number 4. This is originally released in 2022 from Kadokawa, Taiwan. This is Helena and Mr. Big Bad Wolf from Bliss. Let's talk about who worked on this. We have translation from Shao. We have lettering done by Chris Bergener. Editors Jacqueline Lai and Carl Lai, and design Madeline Norman. And now let's talk about this absolutely gorgeous cover and spine. Look at it, it's just super beautiful. I love that the illustration goes all the way across the front to the back. It looks beautiful. The colors are gorgeous. They are really nice. The perspective is really fun as well. It's just really, really, really cool cover and spine. I really like this. And I just want to note, I was given this one for free from Young Press, so thank you so much for that. And completely unbiased review as we go into it, just so you know. Alright, coming into our two characters, we have ourselves Helena, who is the female lead of the series. She's a spunky girl who loves reading, drawing, writing, exactly what you'd expect from a young girl. But she's extremely strong for everything that she's been through, but she's always willing to show her emotions, which is just, I don't know, her character is so relatable. And I haven't felt this empathetic and sympathetic towards a character in forever. I mean, she's just really well done. She's really well written, and just a character you want to root for and also like feel for her throughout this entire volume. Coming into Mr. Big Bad Wolf himself, it's the guy in the background. He is the male lead of the series. He's a renowned children's book writer that's known for his really dark stories, and he struggles with a variety of different problems that artists face often. And he is also a very relatable character. I think I sympathize with him quite a bit, and also empathize quite a bit, just with him struggling with kind of like imposter syndrome and just a variety of other things, where he's kind of have artist block as well. But overall, these characters are so well written. They feel so real to me. I feel like I've met these kind of people before, and I would be there to like help them out, you know, give them a pat on the back, say it's gonna be okay. Yeah, just overall some great character writing. And now, going into our story, we have ourselves Helena, like I mentioned, lives at the orphanage where she dreams of making children's book stories when she grows older. She's already been through so much in life, being parentless and having a brother in the hospital, but she continues to try to stay strong because of the stories written by Mr. Big Bad Wolf. She eventually gets the chance to meet her favorite author, and he is nothing like she thought he would be. Will their chance meeting change both of their lives for the better? I just want to say, I absolutely love the story. The story is really, really well done. The pacing is fantastic. The character writing is wonderful, super strong. Really great moments, really great story beats across the board. It feels so real, so raw. Like, feels so visceral too. I don't know. Overall, there's just so much to pick apart and love about this story. I love how the characters are already growing. I love where the story is going. It feels, like I said, very realistic. And I'm just really excited to have like such an interesting and unique story release. And it be so well written from the start. I mean, wow, what a great start. And coming into the art is absolutely beautiful, with like some great character designs mixed with some really awesome, look at this, like, look at this beautiful, like, children's book, like, art style illustration mixed with, like, a very modern manga style. I love it. It has so many different kind of pages like that throughout the volume. Man, it's got very gorgeous art. And I know I said I was unbiased, and I truly am, but, like, this was really freaking good. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, to be completely honest, because this actually wasn't even on my radar until it was given to me. But after reading it, wow. Talk about a fantastic read, and I highly suggest checking it out. It's just really, really flipping good. Alright, coming into our final volume. This one originally released in Shogakukan's Big Comic Superior back in March of 2023, and that is going to be Mujina Into the Deep from Inio Asano. Yeah, let's get into who worked on this really quick. We have translation from JN Productions, touch-up art and lettering from Annalise Ace Kreisman, design from Sean Carrico, and editor is Pancha Diaz. Now let's talk about this cover and spine. Super cool red. I love this a lot. And yes, I know it's just like a red with a white, but I just love how different it is. I love the design of the logo. It looks really cool, and how we could see the character through the logo. It looks super cool. Man, I don't know. This just looks really flippin' neat. I like this a lot. Alright, coming into our characters, we have two. We have one of them, his name is Terumi Morgan, who is this guy right here. He is the male lead of the series. He's a game developer who's down on his luck, divorced and has a child. He's very introspective, always just thinking about things throughout the volume, and to be completely honest, he's not my favorite character. I don't really like him very much, and he's a little bit hard to root for because he's not very nice either, so it'll be interesting to see how his character grows, or if it grows, and what's going to happen as we move throughout the story. Coming up next, we have Ubume, who is the character here on the cover. She is the female lead of the series, quiet 30-year-old Mujina, which I will explain later, who is an assassin slash bodyguard. She is super strong and fairly mysterious, but appears to be pretty amoral when it comes to who she or what she takes for jobs. So overall, she's kind of an interesting character. I'm curious if her character will also change. I don't really know. But I will say that, yeah, her kind of just letting herself to be amoral isn't necessarily my favorite character trope. So she's kind of in a gray area, and we'll see. So overall, characters, not my favorite thing in the world, but I think there is some stuff to like in this series. Now, coming into the story, Japan has a new system in place where rights are important, but also not. You can revoke your rights as a human to become a Mujina, which gives you the freedom to do whatever you want at the cost of being shunned by almost all of society, as well as being, like, you can be criminalized for basically anything. So our main character, one of our main characters that is, Terumi Morgan, is struggling to find meaning in life until one day his life changes when Ubume and a young girl meet him at a seedy doctor's office. So overall, this story is got a lot going on, and there doesn't seem to be a true direction just yet. I think there's like certain parts like that kind of is leading with Ubume's story, but it's almost weird because Ubume doesn't feel like the main character per se. I mean, she kind of does, but also doesn't. And there's a lot of other side stories also going on that are just kind of happening. There's a lot happening in this first volume, and it is a lot to take in, and I don't know necessarily for the better, to be completely honest, but overall, yeah, it's an okay story and keeps you interested, but I don't know how good it's going to be technically. And then coming into the art, it's typical Inio Asano. It's going to be the hyper-realistic backgrounds with some pretty interesting character stuff. Really great action going on, I'm going to be completely honest. I was actually very impressed considering that Inio Asano is not very much a action-oriented mangaka. Tends to be more focused on like the human elements of things. So interesting to see a difference in that, having more of an action-packed series. But yeah, great art, good backgrounds, some pretty interesting designs overall, I think. So yeah, Mujina Into the Deep, not my favorite thing from Inio Asano, and not a really great start, but definitely kept me interested enough to want to pick up the next volume. So we'll see how I feel about the series as we continue on. Alright, coming into the ranking part, we have the 5 series here, and if you couldn't tell by my comments, I think the way I'm going to rank this is I'm going to put Mujina Into the Deep actually at number 5, which is pretty surprising because Inio Asano is one of my towards the top favorite mangaka of all time. But yeah, like I said, there's just some things about the characters and the story just kind of being all over the place and a little bit chaotic that it didn't really vibe with me. Going up next, I think I'm going to say Ruri Dragon. I think, like I said, it's decent, it's pretty fun, and there's some stuff to love there. Coming up after that, I think I'm going to put Tokyo Alien Bros at number 3, Takahashi from the Bike Shop at number 2, and then last but not least, actually number 1, is going to be Helena and Mr. Big Bad Wolf. It was just really, really good. Completely shocking, totally surprised me, and I absolutely loved it. So yep, that's going to be the ranking for this video. Let me know, have you read any of these 5 series? Let me know in the comments below how you feel about them, and do you like them? Do you hate them? Are you somewhere in between? I'd love to know how you feel about them. And you know what to do. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Those are all amazing things, and I love it when you do that. The support has been enormous and amazing and beautiful, and I appreciate it every single time. You guys are awesome. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video, and hopefully I will have fully healed up by next time, because yeah, it's starting to kind of hurt to talk. But thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.